Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm Captain Will Watson, Sector Commander, Coast Guard Sector New Orleans. First, I will provide an operational picture of initial events, our current response efforts, and our anticipated future actions. Yesterday, at about 4:28 p.m., the Coast Guard received a distress message from a Good Samaritan regarding a capsized 129-foot lift vessel named the Seacorp Power, approximately 7 nautical miles south of Port Fourchon, Louisiana. Seacorp confirmed that the Seacorp Power departed Port Fourchon about 1:30 p.m. on yesterday, en route to Main Pass, which is about 25 nautical miles east, with a crew of 19 individuals. At the time of the incident, on-scene weather conditions were challenging. 80 to 90 miles per hour were the winds, 7 to 9 foot seas, and extremely limited visibility. Fortunately, even with adverse weather conditions, our crews were able to get on scene and respond within about 30 minutes. Our current assets deployed on scene include one 45-foot response boat, one H-65 helicopter from Air Station New Orleans, one 144-foot fixed-wing plane from our training center Mobile, and one 87-foot Coast Guard cutter, the Amberjack. And also I want to say that Port Fourchon Parish, they have a boat engaged as well. And I want to just stop and say from the prepared remarks, over the course of this morning, we've been getting so many calls from folks in the maritime industry that want to get involved, and it's been tremendous, both on the surface assets as well as air assets that are wanting to get involved with the effort, and we are actively coordinating with those folks. So I want to say thank you to those folks personally. Current on-scene weather conditions are about 8 to 10 foot seas, 4 nautical miles of visibility, and about 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. There's a small craft advisory through the evening, and we anticipate thunderstorms this afternoon. Personnel accountability and safety of life is our top priority. We are saturating the area with available resources to assist in the rescue mission, and we will continue to do so. As of now, we have rescued 6 survivors who were safely transferred ashore. Unfortunately, we recovered 1 individual on the surface of the water deceased, and the search effort continues for the remaining 12. My heart and the collective heart of our team goes out to the families and to Seacorp, but we're giving it all we have. The vessel itself remains overturned on its starboard side, partially submerged and grounded in approximately 55 feet of water. There has been minimal environmental impact to this point, and we are coordinating with state and parish entities to reduce any potential impact. Seacorp is coordinating with the families, with the next of kin communications, and family reunification efforts. So at this time, I'll take any questions that you might have. Yes?
Yes, Captain, if you could go over a little bit for us, if you know, what was the Seacorp doing when it left Port Fourchon? Where was it going? What role was it going to perform? And why was it necessary for this boat to go out in such treacherous conditions?
So let me answer by saying this. All of those things remain under investigation. We're trying to figure this out as we go. We're talking to survivors, we're talking to the company, and so we're focused on the search and rescue effort more than anything right now, but those details will come out in the days and weeks ahead as we learn more about what went on. But that information generally remains under investigation as we figure out what went on here. So I don't want to speculate as to what may have happened until we learn with more fidelity what actually
Do you know
happened.
where it was headed, what company
It was
working
headed
for, anything like that?
So Secor, the vessel is a Secor vessel. They were headed to Main Pass. We don't, at this time, know exactly the mission they were on. Our focus was that the vessel has capsized, and we're trying to find the folks that remain unaccounted for. Those details, though, we'll get them to you as we learn them in the days ahead.
All right, thank you, Captain. I have a question back here. Please state your name and affiliation, please.
Sure.
Yes.
Justin Michaels with the Weather Channel.
Yes.
As far as the weather, I
Mhm.
mean, it seems pretty apparent that that was certainly a factor in this. Can you go into any extent as far as detail related to the weather conditions at the time, what exactly the boat was going through,
Yeah.
anything specific there?
I will tell you, as I mentioned a little earlier, that what we know of the weather conditions at the time is that we had 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. Now, consider that challenging. 80 to 90 mile per hour winds and 7 to 9 foot seas. It's challenging under any circumstances. So we don't know the degree to which that contributed to what happened, but we do know those are challenging conditions to be out in the maritime environment, is what we can say with fidelity. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and state your name and affiliation.
Yes.
Shannon McGill, Associated Press.
Morning.
Were there any warnings or coastal marine warnings, any type of warning at the time that the ship departed or the boat departed?
So we did have some weather reports yesterday. There would be some challenging weather, but there was this level of weather was not necessarily anticipated. And I think, I can say that with fairly good confidence that we did not anticipate the weather that we saw.
Was the ballast full? What was their cargo? And were the legs down or in motion?
So again, not to keep repeating myself, I apologize for that, but those are details that are part of our ongoing investigation. And we will get you that information as it becomes available, but I don't want to move into that realm right now. Our investigators have engaged and they are talking to folks on scene, to the company, and we're learning as we go. I will tell you the information that we're getting has informed the search effort, but I don't have those specific details that I'd want to divulge given the ongoing investigation right now. We will get that information to you in the days ahead.
All right, please state your name and affiliation.
Natasha Robin, WVUE Fox 8.
Yes.
Can you just explain what a lift boat is for people in the public who really do not understand what this vessel is?
Sure. I'll do my best. In fact, I brought one of my senior experts who does this for a living, one of our senior marine inspectors who understands these types of vessels through and through. But I'll give you just a basic picture of it, and I'm going to ask Todd Michelle, one of our senior inspectors, to give you a little more detailed information. But if you can imagine a vessel almost like a platform, maybe with a crane or two on it, and has legs that can be jacked down towards the sea floor. And as those legs reach the sea floor, the platform of the vessel begins to rise. And so those vessels can be stationary and do work offshore. That's a limited layman explanation of what a jack or a lift vessel is. I was about to say a jack-up vessel, but a lift vessel is. Todd, you want to get engaged here and just share a little bit on that?
State your name and spell.
Sure. How you doing? Good morning. My name is Todd Michelle, Toddmichel. I'm a senior marine inspector here at Sector New Orleans. Basically, Captain had a pretty good description of what a lift boat does. This particular boat has 3 legs, two forward, 1 aft. Basically, they're 250-foot legs. As the legs jack down into the sea floor, the hull of the vessel is able to raise up above the waterline, above the sea conditions, to work on offshore platforms, offshore rigs. They're mainly used for their cranes. It's the big part of what they do offshore. Lifting personnel, lifting goods, lifting offshore equipment onto rigs. That's basically it. They work kind of as a regular vessel with propellers and shafts when they're going underway with their legs jacked up. They get on site, jack their legs down to the seafloor, to remain stationary and are able to work from that point.
All right, thank you.
What was the length of the legs? I'm sorry, I missed that.
250 feet.
As far as the draft of the boat, I mean, does it sit pretty shallow and would maybe not be able to handle those 7 to 9 foot waves? I mean, or does it have a?
All boats are designed differently. I mean, typically it doesn't have a deep, deep draft like you will see a ship, but all boats are designed differently on what kind of wave heights or what kind of conditions they can handle.
Sure, thanks, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
Please state your name and affiliation.
Yeah, my name's Travis West with New Orleans Public Radio.
Morning.
I'm wondering if you can talk about two things. First off, given that I think you mentioned it's like 8 foot seas right now, is that complicating the search and rescue operation right now? Can you just talk about the current conditions affecting?
So, to say, let me put it this way. To say we have 8 to 10 foot seas out there is what we're seeing. And about, actually, at the present, I think we're seeing 6 to 8 is the most recent, with about 15 to 20 nautical mile winds. And I think we got about 4 nautical miles of visibility. We're operating in those conditions. We are actively searching. I will tell you that. I won't tell you that those conditions can't be challenging, but we are out there and we're committed to the search and rescue effort.
My other question was, I guess more like, if these weather conditions were more known that these seas are going to be so bad, would it be normal for the ship not to go out there? Like, is it weird that this ship was unlikely that it was out there?
Well, I don't want to, again, I don't want to speculate where that's concerned because the investigation is ongoing. But I will say this, as I said earlier, the level of impact of this weather, I won't say was wholly anticipated. So I don't want to say that Sea Corps was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. And again, all that information will come out as the investigation proceeds.
All right, thank you, Captain. We have time for one more question.
Okay.
Please state your name and affiliation.
Yeah, I'm Ramon Vargas with the Times-Picayune News.
Good morning.
Good morning. Could you describe how large the search area is at this stage? And I know you kind of hinted earlier about you're going to take into account the stormy conditions expected later, but can you go into detail a little bit more about what that might prevent you from being able to do, or how long you can search that area?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. We have a very fixed location. We know right now that the vessel is not drifting. We presume that the vessel is aground, but we are monitoring that actively. Conditions could change. So we are searching in that area and in a successive pattern out from that area, given the uncertainty as to where these folks may or may not be. So that's how we're handling this right now.